Have you ever had that feeling, that nagging gap between what you learn in a classroom and what you're actually expected to do at your job? Well, you are definitely not alone. There's this growing tension between the degrees we spend years and a fortune earning and the real-world skills that employers are desperate for. So let's dive into this competence crisis and figure out why that diploma might not be the golden ticket we all thought it was.
All right, here's the game plan. First, we're going to tackle the broken promise of the traditional degree. Then, we'll look at why this big push for skills-based hiring seems to be hitting a wall. After that, we'll explore a whole new blueprint for proving what you can actually do. We'll see how it works in the real world, and finally, uncover what the new currency of your career is really going to be.
So let's start with a feeling I think many of us know all too well: frustration. You did everything you were supposed to do, right? You got the degree, you tossed the cap in the air, and then you slammed right into the job market.
I mean, this quote from a recent graduate just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures this deep sense of disillusionment. After all that work, all that debt, so many graduates are finding out that the professional world speaks a totally different language than the one they learned in lecture halls.
And this right here really lays out the disconnect. On one side, you've got employers begging for practical skills. They want self-starters who can juggle tasks, who can analyze things effectively. And on the other side, you have graduates armed with their degree and a ton of theory, but their main practical skills seems to be archiving rejection emails. It's like the bridge between these two worlds just crumbled.
Okay, so the obvious solution is to just hire for skills, not for degrees. And a lot of big companies have been making a ton of noise about this, publicly dropping degree requirements. But here's the question: is this change for real, or is it just a mirage?
Now, at first glance, the data looks pretty good. According to SHRM, the percentage of jobs that require a college degree has actually dropped a little bit over the last 5 years. So, progress, right? Well, hang on a second.
And boom, here's the plot twist. A Forbes report dug in and found that even when companies say they're dropping degree requirements, their actual hiring behavior hasn't changed. They might talk a good game, but when it's time to actually make an offer, they still fall back on the person with the diploma. So what on earth is going on?
And this really gets to the core of it. The whole system is stuck because employers don't have a trusted, efficient alternative to the degree. Think about it. A diploma is a super simple, if kind of blunt way to sift through a mountain of applications. Without a reliable way to verify someone's actual skills, hiring managers are just sticking with the devil they know, even when they know it's flawed.
Okay, so this is where the story takes a turn. If the real problem is a lack of trust and verification, then the solution has to be a system that builds exactly that. So let's check out this new blueprint for what's called competence.
First things first, let's get crystal clear on what we're talking about. Competence isn't just about listing skills on a resume. It is the proven ability to actually apply your knowledge and skills to get a specific result. It's a huge shift from just what you know to what you can verifiably do.
And here's what a system built on that idea actually looks like. This isn't just a vague concept. It's a whole structured framework. It's a full circle. It starts with analyzing what skills are actually needed, then building measurable standards for them. From there, you create assessments, and, this is key, you train people in-house to be assessors and verifiers. The whole thing is powered by training and a constant feedback loop to keep improving. It's a complete, start-to-finish system for proving what someone is capable of.
You know, what's so cool about a system like this is what it does for your career path. It lays out a clear map, not just for climbing up the ladder, that's your vertical promotion, but also for moving sideways, for cross-skilling. You can see exactly how the skills you have in one job can transfer to a totally different role, creating a way more agile and resilient workforce.
Okay, that's the blueprint. But how does this thing actually work on a day-to-day basis inside a company? Let's pop the hood and look at the mechanics.
So there are 3 crucial roles that really make this whole engine run. First, you've got your in-house assessor. This is an expert who observes and tests an employee to see if they meet the standard. Then you have an in-house instructor who delivers the targeted training to get them there. And finally, and this is so important, you have the internal verifier. They're like the quality control, making sure the whole process is fair and consistent. It's a built-in system of checks and balances.
And check out how detailed this gets. A huge, complicated job gets broken down into these small, measurable pieces. For every single task, the system defines exactly what knowledge you need, what practical skills you have to show, what tools you have to use, and even the right attitude for the job. This takes competence from this fuzzy, abstract idea into something you can actually see, measure, and prove.
All right, let's pull back for the big picture here. What we're really talking about is a massive, fundamental shift in how we think about our careers. And honestly, the stakes could not be higher.
Just look at the money. Companies are already spending an absolutely insane amount on employee development. We're talking a global market worth over $417 billion. That is a staggering investment in trying to build a skilled workforce. But is any of it actually working?
Well, for the most part, the answer is a big, fat no. Some studies have found that a jaw-dropping 90% of that money is basically wasted. Only about 10% of that traditional corporate training actually leads to better skills being used on the job. That old model of just sending people to a weekend workshop, it's clearly broken.
And the evidence for this shift to a skills economy is just undeniable. You've got 95% of execs saying performance has nothing to do with the degree. You have companies reporting way fewer bad hires when they focus on skills. The writing is on the wall. As Forbes puts it, the new currency isn't credentials, it's proof of capabilities.
And look, this isn't some fringe idea. This is the CEO of LinkedIn, Ryan Roslansky, saying it loud and clear. The future isn't about having the fanciest degree on your wall. It's about being adaptable, it's about being ready to learn. The entire world of work is rearranging itself around this one core principle.
So, that brings us to the final and most important question. It's really a question for you to think about. In a world that is rapidly starting to value what you can do over what's on a piece of paper, in an economy where the new currency is proof, what's going to be your proof of competence?